All right, I'm back up in this thing. Your favorite rapper. Even though you don't know that I'm your favorite rapper, I'm still your favorite rapper. And even when I'm chilling in the crib, I look better than your favorite rapper. Um, it's been a cool little minute. I've been grinding. I've been working hard, and now I'm a little more focused on some things that I'm trying to do. Gonna probably be transitioning this to more like a little like pod vlog for me. Where I just kind of talk my shit. And I'm gonna finish it off. I was kind of giving you some game on what to do and things that I had learned. And so some of the things that we was talking about was, how to be a man and growing up with a single mom and all of that. And so, we're gonna finish it off with some game for you. And then the rest, we'll just let you learn on your own. And then I'm gonna try to get into some shit that's cracking off in the world and just be myself and kind of use this as a place to be able to get some content from. Because I'm learning in this game, you just got to have hella content that people want to see and hear you talk. So I guess I'm going to let people hear and see the Suave. The Suave normally likes to be incognito, but we going to let it out. And so, yeah, especially with the new album being out, Don't Worry About Moss, which is, I consider a classic. I think I made the best album of the year and you just haven't heard it yet, but that's just me. So without further ado, we're gonna, go with what the title is, and it's gonna be a relationship with the feminine. And some of the things that I've learned along the years without having the proper guidance, growing up with just a mom and, trying to be her little angel, you don't really get the game that you're supposed to get when it comes to dealing with the feminine. So some of the things that I learned, is your job as a man is to understand. And sometimes that is, misguided. And you think that your job is to live for your lady and do whatever your lady says, happy wife, happy life. But that's not really how it works. You know what I'm saying? Your job as a man is to understand. Your job as a man is to understand your lady and whatever lady you're dealing with, however many ladies you're dealing with. You know, part of the whole scenario with you and your lady is, her job is to sharpen your sword. And if you can get that, you'll be able to understand what her purpose is in your life. And there'll be times when she challenges you, try to figure out if you are who you say you are. And then once you be able to step outside of yourself and step outside of your relationship, then you'll be able to understand her as a woman. And when you get to that point, now you're at the point where you're really starting to learn. So your job as a man is to understand your lady, and your knowledge is where your power comes from. The power is to be irreplaceable in her life. The power is to be irreplaceable in her life. The things that you bring in her life, she can't just easily replace with any other guy. Because any other guy can offer some deals, Nick. As Coach Greg Adams says, um, any guy can offer that. Any guy could be tall, dark, and handsome. But your job in her life is to be something that she can't easily replace you with. And so even though you're an asshole to her, and sometimes you're mean, and sometimes you're not giving her what she wants, she can't let you go because of what it is that you offer in her life. And what you offer in her life and what you're supposed to offer in her life is the knowledge that you've obtained in life. And what is that knowledge? That knowledge is the knowledge of becoming. See, she didn't have to become. By the time she was probably like 14, 15, she started getting all of the things that she kind of wanted. So she didn't really have to become anything, and very small groups of women actually do become. So the knowledge that you obtain in becoming something and the failures that you have in becoming something is is invaluable knowledge that you can bring into her life. But if you ain't never struggled and if you ain't ever went through anything and you never learned nothing, then there's nothing that you can teach her. So then you're replaceable. But if you have knowledge of things that she's never experienced in life and you're able to give it to her and convey it to her in an intelligent way, you have now become irreplaceable in her life. Sure, you could take her out for dates and cool things, but any guy can do that. But what a real suave dude can do for a woman is offer her knowledge that she has not obtained and convey it to her in an intelligent way where she understands it. So your knowledge is your power. Your knowledge of being able to understand her and understand that her life goes through cycles. She's the moon. The moon isn't always a full moon. It ain't always party, party, party. Sometimes it's going to be down and out. Sometimes she's not going to feel good about herself. Sometimes she's going to feel great. But you got to be able to understand that the moon is going to go through cycles. And the way that you do this is you got to be able to spend time with women before you actually start locking it in with women. See, what a lot of people do wrong, and I did wrong too, is we be locking it in with women before we even had any time to really learn about it. And so you just play out what you think you're supposed to play out. You be in her life whatever you think that, you're supposed to be, or what the world has told you what you're supposed to be in her life. And this is where you fail. And this is why you're replaceable. Because you act just like every other guy in her life. But she doesn't want just every other guy in her life. She has a slew of DMs of every other guy in her life. Where you differ is the game that you can offer her. And when you know who you are in the game that you offer, because of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through in life, and you didn't allow them to bitch make you, this is how you become secure in who you are. And when you become secure in who you are, then you're not afraid of her leaving your life. And a woman can feel when you are not afraid of losing her. And that's when you become irreplaceable. Because now I got the game, I got the knowledge, I'm becoming. So that means I'm always getting better. And I'm not afraid to lose you. And internally that hits a button inside of her. And when she realizes that you don't care whether she's there or not, because you know what you offer, then you become irreplaceable in her life. Let that marinate. But see, you got to go out and make mistakes. And if you don't give yourself a chance to go out and make mistakes and become a computer who learns from its own mistakes, then you'll be replaceable in her life. And you'll be the guy who always has time to text her and be in front of her and do everything she asks. And she'll tell you that that's what she wants. And your mom will tell you that that's what she wants. And your grandma and your aunties and everybody will tell you that that's what she wants because it sounds nice. That's not what she wants, man. And you have to learn what it is that she wants better than she knows what she wants. But you can't do this if you're, ready to fall in love with every woman that you meet. See, I made those mistakes. I made the mistakes of thinking that every woman that I had met, I had to treat her like she was a goddess walking the earth, and I should treat her good, and try to be husband material. But you failed then. You get taken advantage of, and a part of her feels like you're beneath her because any guy can do what you're doing. And so my uncle once told me, start how you finish. And that's hard when you're becoming. So when you're a young man, you haven't become enough. You haven't gone through enough to be able to start how you finish, because you're constantly getting better, hopefully. And that's why it's best when you're young to just play the field. Or just be a virgin, find a virgin, and then y'all play the virgin game. But until then, until we live in a world that's like that, you got to play the game the right way. And how do you do that? You got to womanize. It's bad to say, right? It's bad to say that. Because how can we have women who are pure if we got men out here who are unpure finding women? It's a catch-22. Life is an oxymoron in itself. So you have to be able to go out and make experiences and make mistakes before you can realize who you are and understand women. So that way you can be what she needs in her life. So you got to go out and experience and make some choices that are bad. And when you do that, then you can start how you finish. How you come in with her is how you'll end with her. If you come in with her, here's my laws, here's how I move, here's how I do things. You can either fall into this place or not. Doesn't really matter to me. Now you've laid the foundation. And this is how you start to have a good relationship with the feminine. The sun has to just shine and allow the moon to just be the moon. And the moon can't come in and tell the sun, hey, sun, you should have phases just like me. No, the moon does what the moon does, and the sun just shines. You're the sun, my son. And she's the moon. And you understand that the moon goes through phases. Be able to recognize those phases. Now you're starting to become irreplaceable in her life. And this is what will allow you to have standards. And when you have standards, now you put a line in the dirt and you go, are you on this side or are you on that side? You make ultimatums from the very beginning. But you can't go into it treating her like she's a goddess and then try to all of a sudden, now I got standards, and now I got ultimatums. She's gonna look at you confused. Who are you? This is not the guy that I thought that I was getting. And so many squares go in being squares, and then they try to lose their edges and turn into a circle, and then it fails. So that's what the previous episodes was about. You learning how to be a man and become a man. So that way you can have a good relationship with the feminine. And then if you can do that, well, then maybe you can build something nice. Then you can have a family. Then you can have a woman who will ride or die for you. That's what most of y'all want anyway, right? That's what we all want. We want somebody that's gonna ride or die for. How do you get that? Become something. Find something to become. Who is it that you're supposed to become? Create those standards for yourself. And know where you're going. She's joining your train. Your train should be on a trajectory wherever it is you're trying to end up at. She can join that. But if you don't know where you're going, then somebody can come in and go, well, I think we should stop over here. Or I think we should go over there. And you'll go, oh, yeah, sure, okay, cool. And then they'll look at you like, you ain't even no conductor. But see, real conductors, they don't care about where the passengers are trying to go. They got a job to do. You got a job to do. It's your life. Figure that shit out. And when you start doing that, then you could create standards. And then the women that fall within that standards, you bless them. You treat them the way that they should be treated. But they got to fall within those standards. And that's why in the previous episodes we said, find people to idolize. Get away from your mama. Start finding where it is and who it is you're trying to be. Because this is going to give you a better relationship with the feminine. See, our relationship with the feminine has been destroyed. And that in return has destroyed the relationship that the feminine has with the masculine. So if you don't like the world, if you don't like women, if you don't like the way life is going, it's your fault. You're part of the problem. Because you stopped becoming. You started finding your standards by being with her, whatever she likes. And that's not how you build a family, and that's not how you build a legacy. So, while you're becoming a young man, try to spend your time with as many women as possible so you can understand them a little better. Or pick up a book. But don't look for women to give you the answers, because they're not going to give you the answers. Why would they want to allow you to pass the test? They might test you, but they're not just going to give you the answers. You got to go study. They're great teachers if you can recognize. And then once you have accomplished these things and figured out what it is that I'm talking about, well, then you can start to look for qualities in a woman. Then you can start having the goggles to see, the different layers. So then you can just know right away, that's not for me. See, women do that really well. They can tell and figure out what's for them and what's not for them very quickly. They can analyze you because you're a sucker. And you got to be able to learn from them to be able to do the same thing for yourself. So that way you can analyze her. I remember watching this movie when I was younger, and it was called Two Could Play That Game. And there was like a scene where she was like checking him out. She could see his receipt, his outfit, everything. She just analyzed him quickly. And that's really what is happening. That's really how it goes on. When are you going to start doing the same thing? See, you can't, because you want kitty cat. But kitty cat will always be the result of what kind of man you are. And the kind of kitty cat you'll get will always be the result of the man that you are. Unless you just got a fetish of something that you want to do. So some of the qualities that you should look for are women who aren't out seeking attention. They're all going to want attention. They're all going to do little things to get attention. But the women that aren't actively seeking attention, the ones that just stay in their lane, hang out with friends, spend mommy and daddy's money, these are the kind of women you want to kind of gravitate towards as you start to figure out who you are. In the beginning, just go figure it out. But after that, if you want to start building something with someone, and hopefully you do, start looking for women that are like that, who are not always out there. And I'm sure you want a beautiful face and a great body. But I would say let that be secondary. Start looking at her intellect. What can she talk about? Is there some depth to her? Does she have a religion that she follows devoutly? Very seldom will you find that. But does she have standards? Does she have people in her life that make sure she sticks to the standards? See, it's easy to have standards, but do you have people around you that say, hey, if you don't stick to the standards, we're going to shame you? Should lean towards those women. A woman that knows how to naturally do things that are in the house. You know, like if you don't know how to fold and wash clothes, that's a shame. But if she doesn't know how to fold or wash clothes, it's not the deal of folding and washing clothes. That's just minute. The bigger deal is the foundation that was set up for her to know how to do those things. That means she had somebody in her life that gave her a good foundation of qualities to have. You know, dudes be looking for cooking or cleaning, and that it's not the thing that matters. It's the idea behind the thing that matters. Does she take care of herself? Does she eat well? Does she go to the gym regularly? Does she blow her money? See, these things don't really matter. What matters is the idea behind the thing that will tell you about what kind of moon you're attracting to you. I don't know if you look at the cosmos, but like as the sun goes, then the moon follows. Damn. As the sun goes, then the moon follows. As the moon goes through the different phases and shit, you know? So you want to find one that understands those things. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that you can go and find in-depth details about it. You know, I'm just here for the surface level of things to help you get the foundation. You know, in a lot of my music, I talk about these things, and I talk about my growth as an artist, but not just as an artist, but as a person, as a man in relationships, and how it grew and being able to become that. And you know, what I've learned and what I talk about in my music is how your relationship should go. And the way that it should go is the same way that the cosmos goes. As the sun comes through and shines, whether it's cloudy or not, sun always does the job. The sky could be what the sky is, but the sun comes through and shines. The sun always has to do its job. You're going to always have to just do your job. The moon has to do her job too. And her job is a following act of the sun. She follows the same trajectory that the sun takes. If the sun's a little higher, she's a little higher. If the sun's a little lower, she's a little lower. But the sun creates the path of which the moon takes. That's how your relationship should look. Your woman will and should be a reflection of you. So whatever kind of woman that you have in your life, she is a representation of you as a man and what kind of man you are. So if she runs shit, it says a lot about you. If she follows rules and regulations, it says a lot about you. If she knows you're going to be who you are and she just likes you for who you are, and even if it pisses her off, she still just loves you for you, says a lot about who you are. So how your relationship should look is the way that you want it to look. But just know that your woman is going to be a representation of what kind of man you are. So if you ain't learned shit, it'll show. You learned a lot of shit, It'll show. But you can't be a sucker in this game, especially during nowadays time. You'll never have a chance. So you got to be a rock. You know, metaphorically speaking, I try to speak like Jesus did. If Jesus was real, you know, metaphorically speaking, I speak in parable. You got to be a rock, and she'll be the ocean. But how your relationship looks will be a reflection of you and what kind of man you are and what kind of man you've become. And don't be in no relationship if you ain't become nothing yet, or if you don't know what you becoming. Because how can the moon follow the sun if the sun don't know if the sun gonna rise today? The sun don't know if it's gonna be at the tippy top today, or if it might be a little closer to the horizon. You know? But you don't learn this when you just listening to everybody and listening to mommy, because you grew up with a single mommy and you just want to make her so happy and so proud, and so that's how you treat your woman. Wrong. Remember, how you start is how you finish. If you want to have a respect in your relationship, if you want it to last, if you actually want to have a relationship that goes through the test of time. If you don't, then just play the game and they'll come and they'll go. But your relationship with the feminine will be a result of your relationship with yourself as the feminine to the masculine. Her relationship with you will be a reflection of what type of woman she is. And the kind of women that I think that are the best are the women that can take accountability for their actions. It's very small amount of them. So if you find one, good sir, hold her tight. But if not, you're going to have to raise her. And more than likely, her father didn't raise her. Because more than likely, her father grew up the same way you did. So it's time to be a man. Go out, learn, fuck up, be better. You know, it's a tough thing. And if you come across this, then hopefully it'll be what the men in my life were to me. Because I got both sides. I've had the sides where it was you worship a woman, and I had the sides where it was like you make sure that you keep her in check. And I'm telling you, listen to some of my music. I tell you what it is. She know when she need my, I know, oh, wait, what I said. She know when I need my respect. She know when I need my respect. You know when I need my respect. Keep that in check. But it took me learning to get to there. So now you can take what I learned and implement it before you actually gotta learn it. But to really know it, gotta go through it. So that'll be the end of it. You know, me trying to give you a little bit of the game that I got. I continue to give some game, but I'm not gonna give it chapters anymore. I'm just gonna, get on here and talk and give myself some content to share to the people what Moss Man is about. They could get a little bit of this swab. Even when I'm bummy after a long day, still get the swab. So, that will end that chapter. And that's why it's been a minute. I've been figuring out what I really want to be about. Where should I go? How should I do it? But in the meantime, I did want to check out what was cracking off with this, because this is the simulacra and simulation is really in full effect. So we'll check it out. I'm watching Coach CGA fair use, and with the election and everything.
So we are over to talk
transition just quickly.
You're
You know, this what I'm looking at. Or CGA.
Was a different
The
term.
God.
It was a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where Bloodbath was. Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked. Yeah. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all these people, they come.
You know, and it's funny that they got Trump and Kamala going at it. You know, this dude versus this lady. It kind of like says where we're at as a reality. You know, it seems as if we're all in competition with each other. And maybe that's what the game wants. The game played it that way, where we could be in battle with each other, even though we're supposed to work in unison. Supposed to be like a battery, you know? Negative and positive creates energy. But now we're like battling whether we should be all negative or all positive. It's crazy.
They go an extra sentence, they will see it as perfect. You know, paper, but they still bring it up, just like they bring 2025 up. They bring all of this stuff up. This, you talk about the gap. Why are we allowing these millions of people to come through on the...
And look at what they talking about. They ain't talking about nothing. They're not talking about doing nothing, changing nothing. They all say what they're gonna do, but they're not really gonna do anything.
She's not doing anything. And I'll tell you what I would do, and I would be very proud to do. And say we would both leave this debate right now to see her go down to Washington, D.C. during this debate because we're wasting a lot of time. Go down to, because she's been so bad, it's so ridiculous.
Look at. We just hate on each other. That's what we do. I'm gonna hate on you and you hate on me.
Because they have the right to do it. They have the bill. They have the right to do it. The President of the United States will get up, you wake up, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you say, come to the office, let's sign a bill. If he signs a bill that the border is closed, all you have to do is say it to the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal. If they do that, the border is closed. Mr. Those people are killing many people, unlike J6. We talked immigration here tonight. I do want to focus.
See, they talk about immigration, like this country was built on immigration. Now, you know, everybody got their opinion on it, but like we was built on everybody being with everybody. This is supposed to be a melting pot. Didn't you learn that in school? America's in a melting pot. We ain't like China. We ain't like Russia. When you look around and everybody look the damn same. We a melting pot. So why y'all talk about borders and all that? You see that how they keep you confused and fighting over dumb shit? We're not supposed to be fighting over dumb shit. We're supposed to be figuring this shit out. But I don't think they care about figuring this shit out. Just like you don't care about listening to dope music. You rather listen to what everybody tell you to listen to. You don't want to listen to no dope music. You're not about to go look for no dope music. You're going to listen to whatever was put in front of you. You know? You're not about to listen to the Mosh Man, who going to really talk about some real shit. Or have some dope lyrics with some dope beats and have some conscious music you can get ratchet to. Now you're going to listen to dumb shit. Just like we doing right now.
Mr. President, for 3.5 years. It's true. Here was the President Joe Biden bed history. Man, you watched it. Repeatedly.
See? Dumb stuff.
In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost Mr.
See, they ain't talking about nothing. And that's why I say don't worry about mine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about more, what's going to happen. Don't worry about how life's gonna move. One of the dope things that I heard in the Matrix, excuse me, is that Neo went to go see the Oracle. And he was like, you know, what's the point of making any choice if you already know what choice I'm gonna make? And she said to him, it's not about making the choice. It's about understanding why you made the choice. And I thought you would have figured that out by now. That is what's happening here. It's not about what's going on in the world, in your life, what type of women you want to be with. It's about understanding why. That's how you start to make the growth in who you are as a person. And that's why I make the type of music that I make. Because it's about the why.
Didn't quite make it. But you did sarcastically. It was said, "Oh, we lost by a whisker."
Move forward. Let's move forward in this.
To defend its, in particular, rights to any
I'm watching the nigga who's watching the nigga who's watching the nigga.
I'm Tim Hoff. Not a surprise.
On YouTube, I can say that because I am one.
security, self-determination, and the dignity they so rightly deserve.
Not surprised with that answer.
Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians in Gaza.
Our president would have never started.
Mm.
Our president, Russia, would have never, ever. I
See
know
this?
Putin very well. He would have never, and there was no threat of either.
See how they do it?
Years, have gone into
No, if it was
Ukraine
me,
and
I'd
killed
never do it.
millions of people when you add it up. Far worse than people understand what's going on over there. But when she
That I don't know. That stuff is, it was kind of boring. I was just checking in on that stuff, but it's kind of boring. And I'm just, you know, I'm just BSing right now. I'm just trying to talk to people. You know, that's why I said, you know, 90% unaware, 7% don't care, and the rest is us. So, that's where we at in life. 90% unaware, 7% don't care, and the rest is us. So it is getting late. I just wanted to hop on this and get it moving again, get the ball rolling, so we can start getting this thing back to where it needs to be. I disappeared for a cool little minute. I've been working on stuff, but I'm gonna start making this be a little more cool. So, you know, appreciate everybody tuning in if you did tune in. If not, this will be some stuff that's cool that people could check out when I ain't no longer here. That's the best part about the internet, or putting stuff up on the internet or app. When you ain't here no more, people can go back and look at that. They can play it at your funeral or whatever, you know. And what I want them to play at my funeral is I'm the best artist from the Valley that nobody acknowledges yet. But soon they will. Soon they will, you know. And you see the sign behind. Had a dope ass listening party. Had some cool shit happen. And we working. And we got some shows coming up because I know the people want to see me perform. They haven't seen me perform. And I got to give them this swag. So, you know, that whole conversation about becoming, still doing it to this day. And it ain't going to ever stop. Always becoming better. But I'm solid now in the foundation of what kind of man I am. And so now I can only just get better. You know? I ain't changed, you know? Getting better, but I still ain't changed. I'm still a bachelor. Looking for a partner. Someone that's gonna know how to ride and never fall off. Watch me get dope at this little streaming shit. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, 40 minutes is cool. I'm about to get up on out here. I'm gonna smoke my little hookah and then I'm gonna pass out. So y'all stay swappy and stay stupid. And you know, hold on to this for the future. You know what I'm saying? Moss Man out.